Hey there guys, thanks for joining us on another board gaming night. Tonight we're playing Between Two Cities from Stonemaier Games. We're using the Capitals expansion with all the modules added in, and we'll go over that in a second. But just to introduce you who's here tonight, we have, I'm going to zoom out so you can see them. We have D, this is his copy of the game and expansion. We have James, this is the first time he's playing this game tonight.
Indeed.
Myself, Jason, and Martin Coverley. Alright.
Mr.
Mr. Martin Coverley, yeah. Alright, so just to give you a brief what's going to happen, we're going to explain a little bit of the rules so we can give you a brief overview. And then we're going to come back with a gameplay turn where we play through a few rounds so you can see how the game flows and what it's like. And then right at the end we will give you a rundown of what we thought and who won, etc, etc. So,
doesn't the game only last a few rounds?
Yeah, actually it's only 3 rounds. So might end up filming the whole game. So this is a drafting, tile laying, city building game.
Okay.
So to begin with, we all start now with one of the Capitals modules. We all start with this terrain tile. So we're still building a 5x5 grid, except now the terrain the city has to mingle in with this. So these areas here are obviously unbuildable, but the buildings and stuff are connected by bridges or tunnels, etc, etc.
So the tile will come off this, basically.
Yes.
It's just like will form part of the city.
You'll see as we're building during the gameplay turn. So that's one of the modules. The second module we added is the district buildings, which is civic buildings. So these are the normal buildings we normally have, and you can check out, we've actually done a overview of Between Two Cities before, so I'll put a link up at the top here hopefully, and you can go check that out if you want to learn more about the other buildings and stuff. But this module adds, what is it? Civic?
Civic.
Yeah. So I'm going to let D explain the civic buildings. Go on D, explain it to us.
They give you points!
Basically you build the building, it's worth points of 1 just for the basic tile. It's worth additional points if it is adjacent to its 2 preferred buildings. So I might say that it wants to be next to a school and a factory, for example. And if it is, it's worth more points. It also has a negative building, so if it's next to the negative building, then it's only ever worth 1 point no matter what. That's pretty much what it does.
Okay. The third module we've added in is these district bonuses down at the bottom here. So we've randomly dealt out the districts into the 3 categories. So for example, in District 3 here, if you can make your city with a lot of residential and park tiles, the biggest city, the city with the most connected tiles of those 2 types, will get 7 points, and second place will get 5 points. And then there's one there for civic and
retail
and factories
and schools.
Factories and schools, that clearly goes well together.
Yes.
Of course.
That's right, so the game lasts 3 rounds, as we said. First round we'll draft these smaller city tiles, then we'll do the double tiles, and then we'll do one more round of the third of the smaller tiles.
Just drafting the other way for the third round.
Yep, and then we'll have our cities built and do scoring. Scoring is very interesting because you'll see when we'll talk about it at the end because it's quite convoluted. But the trick about this game is D is going to be building a city with James, but he's also going to be building a city with Martin.
So I'm definitely not winning.
So you would think, well, that's pretty interesting as it is, but his score will be, the score he gets will be the one that's the least out of the 2 cities he builds with them. So if he
with James, is what it means.
yeah, so the score he gets with James is going to be his score, and the same will happen with me because I'm
Yeah, really better do well now, aren't I?
I'm in between James and Martin, so the same thing applies to me. I'll be having a score with James.
I'd just like to say, why do you think I'm not going to do very well in this game?
Well,
I literally just watched you nearly fall asleep.
That's why I got the coffee.
so that's what's happening. You get the general gist of what's happening here. It's a drafting game. We draft the tiles, build a city around these cool little landscapes, and when we get to scoring, that's when we'll find out what's happening. That's dumb. Anyway, we'll be back in a second. Alright, so we've drafted the first round. We're going to start here with the gameplay turn, starting with the second round, but I'll just have a quick look at some of the villages or cities, or whatever you want to call them. This is mine and Martin's. as it's comfortably known as Smog Town, with lots of factories, with a couple of schools and a music bar, and there's some woods just to, drown out some of the smog. This is me and James. We've got a post office in the corner. That's one of the new civic buildings with some buildings around it. And then we've got some entertainment and school
next to a pub.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But, music karaoke bar there as well. This is D and Martin's buildings.
Shopping complex.
Yeah. Look how many yellow ones they've got. And then they got the token house. And then this is James and
Entertainmentville. Bit of everything, really.
yeah. Okay.
Take a nod to some jobs here as well.
Yeah. So this is the districts. I just want to show you those again, so you can keep an eye on what we're looking at. I'm not looking at any of that because there's already too much to think about. So we get 3 of these cards. They're double-sided now. The interesting ones with these, they have to still fit into the 5x5 grid. So for example, I could put that like that, or if it was like that, but I can't like overlap onto another building or anything like that.
Can you orient them any way you want?
Nope. Has to be as it shows on the.
They are orientated already. And
Shite.
are we passing to the left or right?
Not.
No passing.
Oh yeah, of
two.
course.
This is
Take
the
two.
drafting
one.
Yeah, that's right. So these are the 3 I got. Let's have a look.
That's a difficult choice there.
That is absolutely appalling.
Yeah, it is. Indeed.
I don't know what to show you guys, to what to look at while we're thinking, because obviously this is what the game's about. Just this constant nattering to each other. But we can't, in this phase when we're choosing, we can't talk to each other. We have to just choose, and then when we reveal, we can then talk to each other.
Just to be clear, Dean, what can't this be next to?
Can't
Factories.
be next to factories.
Right.
Otherwise, it's only worth a point.
And the same for the house. Yes?
Correct.
Does diagonals count? So if I've got
No.
shit,
God.
It's only orthogonal.
that's not going to work then, Jason.
Oh no, we don't.
Doesn't
That
matter.
one.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as it's next to at least one.
Goodness me, James. I don't know what I'm going to get us out of this.
Don't worry, I've got.
So bad.
I've got us. I ain't really got much of a choice, to be honest with you.
All right, I'm going to ditch that one.
wasn't good.
Right, so everyone's ditched that unused one. So now we're going to like a negotiation phase.
Yes,
Everyone
and-
turns over
We reveal.
what they have.
These
and
are the-
then we essentially talk with your 2 cities that you're building as to what's going on.
What do you got, Martin? What?
I was thinking maybe that would go there.
Yeah, that's
Do
pretty good.
this. We need this one.
I was thinking,
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And-
although
and
I did pick this one.
No,
Sadly,
but I've got that
Oh, you
one
got the
there.
yellow.
Yeah,
I
I've
had
got
that
the
in
yellow
a
there.
different
There's-
All right.
orientation. I was thinking
Put that
there
there.
because it doesn't screw anything up.
So this is what
But-
I'm thinking with this one.
we can...
Because if it goes there,
Where did you put that other one, James? Over here.
Oh, yeah. Well, it
We've got a
doesn't-
tree over there, though.
Can't go, can't
Oh,
go
look,
like
we can
that.
It has
connect
to go that way, though,
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
it?
Probably
Yeah.
that
Yep,
one.
that's
You know,
fine.
because we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. We've got
I mean-
neither.
It could go like that, but that's
No,
not
but-
a very good.
But if this here is touching that, we get more points for the blue one.
No, the blues. It's fine.
Oh, it doesn't matter where that one is. I'll put
Yeah.
it wherever
No,
I
but
want.
don't put that there. That's a rubbish place.
That's a stupid idea. Idiot.
Jason's idea of
It's a
negotiation.
lovely
You
car.
idiot!
Don't do it.
I did this. I was thinking this would be nice. 'cause
This is
also
good. I'm liking this because you can see here we've
Yeah,
got the
we
ring
get
of
the
blue and
blue.
greys that are all
Blue,
connected.
blue,
So that's good for
yeah.
District 1.
But that means that that's
Um,
now done.
That's
But
fine, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know what else we got. We got 3 trees. I don't think we should add any more trees together.
I couldn't pick anything. I had a
Because-
park on every single one.
Funny though, because 3 trees is worth
Yeah.
12 points,
Yeah.
but a 4th tree is only worth 1 more point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
So what do we
Yeah,
want?
yeah,
We
I'll
want
do that.
another blue one up
Yeah,
there,
that's good.
ideally, don't we?
yeah, and a red one maybe over there.
Yeah.
And James, I mean, we got 1, 2,
looking good,
3,
bro.
4. We need a grey one.
Yep.
Okay, so let's have a.
And ideally, we want this bottom line filled with yellow, don't we?
Yes.
We want all the yellow. What are you on about?
So I just want to show
There is
you
no
theirs
ring
as
of
well.
There's one more yellow, really.
All right, so that's round 2 done. Yeah, nice and quick. Now we get to round 3. These are already
Already.
professionally drafted out or
This is not my
shuffled
first,
out.
my
These.
first rodeo.
So the same principle applies as we did with the first round, but now we,
So the
yeah,
first round we were passing clockwise. Now we pass counter or anti-clockwise, depending on what language you
Orientation.
speak.
ooh, that's pretty good. I might keep that. So just to show you, these are the ones that I'm starting with. So I got that. These are one of the new ones. Not that I should be saying that. That's that.
We got nothing, mate.
What were we looking for, man?
Well, we
No
can't-
talking.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Shut up.
Sorry, boss.
Shut up.
I think I might keep that and that,
Second building will be.
and then we'll just put that there for now with that thing on top. So
That'll do.
You're supposed to pass.
We're going left, aren't we?
Right.
right.
We went
Right
left
now.
before.
So
So you passing it?
Wake up.
So I'm passing over there.
No,
then?
put it on that one.
Remember, you're
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course.
Bless him.
Okay.
So
Very shit.
Spushk.
I got the yellow one.
Brown
Yellow
one
one
this
for
one.
us to go there.
What?
I think that's straight away.
If
I,
you,
were you putting that yellow one on this here?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
could always put it on that one.
You want it in that one as well at the same time, don't you?
Green
No,
one?
actually, then that's another
That
one.
doesn't
Yeah, I
affect
kind
it,
of want this
does it?
red one though.
no, but 3 green ones. If we can get another green one over in the corner there, 3 green ones is worth 12 points.
This
Sort
one
of
is
it's a blue,
going
isn't
over
it?
because we've got
Yeah.
the right colours for it. So
See.
we make
Okay.
it worth 5.
The houses are
that's going
basically
over there.
worth 4
Okay.
points each now,
I know,
so the houses
yeah.
are not bad. And also, we're doing pretty well for District 3 there.
I've not even looked at the districts.
Are we okay having a yellow one on this?
Yeah, yeah, I was thinking another yellow one, maybe there or there this
Look
side.
at the districts over there, you know.
All right,
Too
then.
late now.
Bozo, where are we putting this?
Go up
Yeah,
there.
so you want
Yeah, because we're not
still
going
want
to
a
get any
grey
blues,
one for here.
really,
For
are
definite,
we?
Yeah,
yes.
still want a
Well,
grey.
that being said,
Uh,
there might be one or two
Grey,
coming up.
and we want a bed.
Where do we want this, Jimbo?
As long as it's not touching anything, it's going to give us negative points. So it's the grey, isn't it?
Up there, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Would it be better to put something here that's not too debilitating, because then that
Yeah,
stops
so
this
grey-
being a potential negative?
grey or
Or should we just whack that
Bed.
red in the
We
corner
want
and
for
be
here.
done with it?
Yeah. I mean,
Another green.
ideally another green would be
Remember,
good
the
there as well.
districts have to all connect. Yeah.
But if
You're not
you
just in
look at the
city
see what jumps
altogether.
up from 9 to 17,
Yeah, that's good.
you know what I mean? So then, because we've only got one more
This
bed,
way.
I think
but in the grey,
we've probably got this one.
with 5 points apiece, isn't it?
6 of them.
All right, so move on to. Oh, you've chosen, haven't you? Come on, man. This is supposed to be a quick
Because
game.
you were too busy fucking taking his attention away. Fucking magpie, isn't he?
Because that doesn't need to be touching anything, does it?
It does not.
So we could just put, apart from the grey, no, we could just put it in the corner there.
So we're ideally looking
Two,
for
four,
one more yellow one to go there.
Next
Okay.
to that one.
Oh,
And then what else are we looking for?
Is it in there?
We put that.
I
up
fucking
there.
can't remember.
Because
Yes,
this is
yes,
what happened with
yes,
us.
it
We
is.
both picked the yellow one to go on.
No,
and it was
you
like,
might-
oh,
might forget
this
a
one, there's
yellow.
another yellow one there.
Yeah,
Okay,
there.
so I'll get the yellow one for here.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
fine then. Yeah, we're fine there.
At least I think there is. I can't
Oh
remember
my
now.
god.
All right.
What,
Go
are
on,
we,
D.
what else are we looking for here, D?
Yeah, that'd be fine there.
Some
No, don't need more yellows. Go away from yellows.
more yellow. Build more yellow. Some
Uh,
blues. Another green would be good.
Okay.
And see what some civics do, maybe.
Okay. Let's have a look.
All right. So we're drafting the next part. This is what basically James has passed on to me. What does this one do? Good next to blue and green. Bad next to brown. Blue and green. Where did I see blue and green? Ooh. That could be good. I might keep that. And
I hope you're looking for blue ones over here. This was a whole big thing.
oh yes,
Blue here, red here, blue here. Remember?
I remember. I remember.
No talking.
Yes, man. He's like, ooh, look at that card.
Magpie.
Jesus.
Right, play this then. Right, so everyone chosen?
Yeah.
Right, these are the two I got.
I've got a grey.
Ooh, nice. So I've got a yellow for us to go there.
Going here.
Are we putting that yellow
What's
there,
next
or are we
to
putting
that?
that yellow
That.
there because we don't want
It's
another park, do we?
Yeah, we don't want another park there.
That can go
And
there.
I've got a blue one that can go there.
Goodness sake.
nowhere near the browns.
What did you just put in there?
There.
Greys.
Yellow.
Yeah, I think grey will be fine there because
Well, that's
we've
an
got
extra
potential
point,
to
isn't it?
still
Makes it
building along here
Yeah.
with this
Should we
one.
just?
Ideally, we're looking for
those
more
two.
greens
Yeah,
now.
now we want either green or a
Yeah.
bed. That's what we're looking for now.
Yeah.
And if failing that,
Yeah,
browns.
hey,
Yeah.
huh?
These
Yeah,
houses are
yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 points.
25, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we don't want it too high because
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah.
none of us will score that.
I know, yeah.
Blue in there.
Now, if you want to touch, of course, it's still
This
touching.
is
yeah,
what
yeah,
me and
yeah,
Martin
yeah.
have done.
Yeah.
I've just added the blue one in the corner there. He's added a yellow down here because we don't want to extend the park
I
anymore.
think anyway now.
So I did
How
actually.
much are these houses worth?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so more houses isn't a bad thing, is it?
No, the houses will be fine.
Okay.
I think we
and
got that District 1 zone up.
ideally red and blue, something like that.
Yeah, red one's definitely
blue,
there.
Maybe some houses, something like that.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
There's I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but there's a one in there that I thought would fit perfectly in there.
We've got a
Oh,
green.
yeah, it's
We've got a
the-
green.
the
So
thingy-
yeah, just blues.
I'm not really sure I'm supposed to say that, but screw
No,
it.
can't
Not
offer no house there.
Well, there's no takesies, backsies now.
We've got 5 now.
Two and a half factory.
So I'd say another house. If we're getting all houses, then
Cool. What do we want?
Yeah, what do we want over here? I feel I've lost my way slightly over this. I'm not really sure what we're
It
doing.
doesn't bode too well, does it?
Okay, well, I think I'm going to stop the gameplay here, as I think you guys
Yeah.
get the general gist of what drafting and what we're doing. What we're going to do.
I hope they do. I know.
We've got 2 more selections each,
Yeah.
and then it goes on to game scoring, pretty much. So
So we'll be back for the game scoring in a sec. All right. So we've tallied up the scores, which was very exciting. The score, the way you tally up the scores in this game can be quite drawn out because there's quite a lot of scores to figure out, but it can be quite exciting as well. We started off with D, and this city right here
right.
made 85 points, which is a pretty damn good score.
It was one of the highest scores we've seen.
Yeah. So then
Until
we moved on to James with the city that he made with me, and this city scored 86 points. So at that point, we realized that D's
James's score,
was going to be 85
86.
or 86.
Oh, yeah,
85, yeah.
Sorry,
Because the
his score
lowest,
was
yeah.
85.
Well, you'll see the scores in it. Then we did mine, which came up to, what was it, 89, which was like, holy crap.
no, not yours. Ours.
Ours, fair enough. And then this one with D and Martin. How much was that, Martin?
89.
89.
Perfect balance.
So there, that's the scores. So Martin has won the game because both his cities made 89 points.
So just to clarify, you score your lowest scoring city. So these are both for Martin. So Martin has 89 points. Jason has 86 and 89. So he scores 86 points. James scored 85 and 86. So James scored 85 points. I scored 85 and 89. So I scored 85 points. So in terms of if people will bother playing for positioning, Martin won. Jason came second. And then me and James both scored 85. So then it looks at who was the highest scoring second city. So James's second city was 86. Mine was 89. So I would be placed third. James would be placed fourth.
And there you go. What a really close game. Unbelievably close. Really tight, high scores with some fabulous cities. Look at these beauties. All perfectly constructed. Alright, so that is who won the game. That is our gameplay. Let's have a little chat with the guys to see what they thought. How about you, D? What did you think? First of all, what did you think of this game? And in general, what do you think of the Capitals expansion and between two cities as a whole?
So this particular game was really cool because I literally had no idea how good all of the cities were doing. Really good to see that the scores went so high. I think previously I've seen like 70 points.
But that could be the districts thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because
Also-
they added a good
And I said I'll move
10,
on to that
15.
in a moment as well. So yeah, this particular game I thought was quite interesting. It's also like playing it 4-player. I think this is the first time I played it 4-player. So whether that then made it different in the points that you score, maybe, I don't know. In terms of what the expansion brings to it, this is the third game I've played with Capitals. I think it doesn't add any complexity to the base game. I think it adds that extra bit that it's worthwhile getting the expansion. So it's not just a case of do I need it, do I not need it. I think it adds the right level to it. And I like that. I like how it's changed the size of your board, and it's got that first structured part as well. I like how the tunnels work.
Aesthetically, it looks good as well with the kind of bit showing through. It's quite cool.
So I think it looks really nice. Just as we were just saying there with the districts, I think that's quite a big points different as well. So like District 1, you score 9 points.
Yeah, me and Martin
for
scored the
coming
9
first.
points for that. I think me and James scored the 7 points for District 3. And who got
I think
District
we
2?
got something else as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
we tied for something.
Yeah, you tied for second place in
I've got
District
points over
2.
here.
So, so I think these make a big difference to point side of things.
Yeah, I think all the cities, possibly all the cities, benefited
something.
from somehow, and I think if they hadn't, that would have made a big difference.
Yeah. I think it's big plus for the Citadel's expansion. I haven't even mentioned the civic buildings as well. I think that's a nice little addition to fill some gaps, get some extra points, but also you've got to be careful. Last game that I played, ended up putting some tiles down thinking, oh yeah, I've got some points, and then I realised when we're going through scoring that actually it's next to, say, the negative buildings, so where it's against one of the yellow ones, that it's only worth 1 point no matter what it's against. So I think that's quite interesting. So you've got to try to really manage.
I
what's
think
going where.
for me the civic buildings are probably the best module they've added to this, because one of the things I found when we're drafting through the game, sometimes you get like, well, I got these 3 green ones here, but I need another green one, say for example, to finish off that, and I'm never going to get it.
Yeah.
The civic buildings can go well. This civic building goes well next to green buildings, so it's cheeky little 6 points.
I took that one.
Yeah, because
and that was 6 points there.
Yeah.
So I really like the civic buildings a lot. I think they added. I think they're my favourite out of all the stuff they've added into the capitals.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm very pleased with the game as a whole. I think one thing which in particular stands out for me is it can play up to 7 players, but the amount of time that it takes to play a 3-player game and a 7-player game is pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, I would say.
Other than scoring.
Adds a slight tiny bit with scoring, and maybe sometimes with the negotiation part, because then maybe you look elsewhere, but it's not drastically different. 45 minutes to an hour, I would say you would easily get this game in, no matter how many people you play. And I think that's a real big positive for the game. That doesn't matter about. There's no real downtime.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
How much would you give it out of 10?
I think
As a whole, including with the capitals.
Whole with capitals 8.5.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, James. Let's have a think. What did you think? Yeah. What did you think of this? This was your first game, so what did you think of the game?
Yeah, it's a good game. I liked the aspect where you got to talk with the 2 different people, and you're trying to add up the points in your heads. Not, you got rough points in your head for both your cities, and you try to keep them the same.
Yeah.
So like one stage, I was really concerned that this city over here was doing way, the points too good. Yeah, so there was a couple of things I got a bit better cards over for this one. So just to help prop up the points for that one. And that's it. Yeah, so it's good, nice, easy. Don't have to think much about it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll give it probably an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's move on to me before we go to Martin. I'm going to go through the modules. Like I already said, I think the civics one is my favourite. I think this is really good. I really like the aesthetic of what the little maps bring. So that makes the city slightly bigger, even though you're building the same amount of tiles. It makes the city slightly bigger, and it gives a nicer aesthetic look. Whether or not this actually adds all that much to gameplay, maybe. I mean, it changes.
I think a tad, nothing massively.
Yeah, it's
changing, and that's one thing which I think is good about it. Is it's not a case of that tailors your game.
Yeah,
it's just an extra little thing. And also, I thought it was quite interesting actually looking around the board that you've got this one's right in the middle, this one's right in the middle, but this one's right at the top, and this one's at the far right hand side as well. So it doesn't matter where it goes; you can go all around really.
So I'm happy to play with those or not, those ones, because you can change the modules in and out.
Without them, you do 4x4, don't you?
Yeah. So whether that's added, I'm not that bothered. They work. They look nice, and they add a little variety to gameplay. I really like these.
Districts.
The districts are the one that I'm probably the least favorite of. Only because it adds a little more complexity of things to look at, and it doesn't really, like, you have to think about, oh, I'm adding these to the city, but it doesn't really add that much to the gameplay other than...
It's theoretically, it's steering your city towards other
I
points.
forgot about them to the end of the game. I didn't even...
like we got the score of the houses and the
That's purely
bushes,
by chance.
and it was just because we were drafting that sort of thing anyway.
And whereas to a degree, I think I felt that we, doing these two cities, were kind of guided. It was like, right, this city we're going for this one, and so what can we do?
Beginner building stuff, and we're like, right, we need to look at civic buildings then.
And then this one was like the factories and the education, the schools or whatever. And it's like, okay, and obviously you're getting points with it, but building up from that as well. So I felt that they steered our city.
I don't, because this game is so quick. I don't think it needs a lot of steering. It's literally just follow these to get points. But nonetheless, I don't think it's a bad thing. I enjoyed as much as anything else. So for me,
So is there only three things that the expansion adds? That these boards and the civic buildings.
I think so. Is that right?
And quite a few more player pieces, which is irrelevant.
Quite a few more utterly irrelevant.
Aren't they like named player pieces, like the
I
actual?
was just looking at them now.
So for me, I loved In Between Two Cities before they added the expansion.
In Between Two Cities.
Yeah. And the fact that it was such a great game, because I don't think I've ever played a game where you're working side by side with both people to your left and right. And it's not like I can just ignore James and work with Martin. I have to equally work with both players. And I've never played a co-op game like that. So that's really interesting.
Interaction outside of the people either side of you.
Well, focusing on what, like, say, Dee's doing.
Jason didn't talk to each other at all, apart from when the time to shut up when he's talking outside his turn.
Yeah.
And well, I suppose probably in more players, probably becomes more evident, because realistically, the only thing I was looking at is what you two would then potentially be scoring on your other cities. But if we're playing a 7-player game, essentially then another 4 people, and there's going to be some cities which actually are nothing to do with me whatsoever. The only thing you're looking at is like majority for factories, and then that's where these become a bit more involved in larger player games, because then that's where you are kind of then looking around and vying for it. Without those, it's almost I would say yes, because like you said in our game, we were steering towards it. It would be a case of we're doing that. How's everyone else doing towards it? If you're playing a bigger game, there's more cities that you're trying to keep an eye on. How are we doing on that one? Are we in a winning position?
It wouldn't be easy to get those districts, so you'd have to focus a lot more on them.
People potentially
taking up the tiles that you need.
Exactly.
But for me, I still love this game. I think it's a really fun game. I really enjoy playing it. It's fast, it's city building, it's tile laying. It's really interesting with a cooperative nature with your neighbors to your left and right, which fits the theme of building a city or a village or a town. So cool. I really like it a lot. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. There's everything I like about it is good. Its components are good. The art is fine. The gameplay is quick and fun. The theme is cool. Everything is cool. I really like it a lot.
I'd love to know what they were thinking when they did the back of the tiles, though. I mean, what is that?
Ninja stars. How about you, Martin? What do you think?
Yeah, it's decent. In terms of the theme, I think that I like city building and whatnot, but I think it's fairly abstract, to be honest. You could have almost supplanted that theme into something else and, changed the symbols around, and it wouldn't have really made much difference to the game. So I don't feel it was a strong theme coming through, like we were building a city. But no, it's good fun. All the pros that you've already mentioned, the fact that it plays large player counts, downtime's very minimal. I quite enjoy drafting as a whole anyway, and I quite like that. You've almost got that kind of push your luck element where you're drafting something and hoping that the other guy doesn't pick the thing, because that happened to us, and it's like, shit, we both picked the right thing. Unfortunately, now we're stuck with 2 of them, so can we dump it in the other city and whatnot? It's good fun. And like nothing else really out there, and typical Stonemaier stuff, the components are great, and I think the artwork's quite good. Aesthetically, I think those sort of whatever they're called, sort of
little player mats.
The player mat things are quite cool as well. They just make it look kind of unique. but I don't think they add that much in terms of gameplay wise. But they certainly look nice, certainly when they're finished. But yeah, I think in terms of score, I think I'll say only a 7.5 for me. Not that it's a bad game in any stretch. I mean, 7.5 is still a good score, certainly. It's very light, I think. It's a good sort of filler game, good one to start the evening or end the evening with, but it is just that, you know. There you go.
There we go. So there's our thoughts and gameplay of Between Two Cities from Stonemaier Games with the Capitals expansion. If you like it, go have a check out on your local friendly store. And thanks for watching. Thanks for bringing it around, D.
That's all right.
Speak to you guys later. Bye.